may not necessarily be.
I have a differing view. The CS absolutely had to speak
Yes,
categorically against what was happening on social media, because let me say this, it is absolutely shameful how we behaved on social media. And I have discussed this before on my take about how we have this era of clapdowns, clapbacks, takedowns. We're trying to bring people down and want to prove that we have receipts. So now suddenly somebody has nudes of her, supposedly, and you're putting them out there. To what end? If you have holes that you want to poke in her story, poke holes in that story. This has got nothing to do with someone being personal. And I will say this, listen, this is also proportionally targeted at women. You're not hearing all these vile things being said about Brian.
Exactly.
All of this is being said about Brenda because she's a woman. Let me tell you something. He was absolutely on point. He came in, he was upset, he called it out, and yes, people on social media need to be prosecuted for some of the things that they say. He didn't make it the focus of it, he addressed it, and he quickly moved on to the business at hand. But at some point, people on social media have to be accountable. And what they have done to Brenda, this is the one thing I think that CS Mutahi Kagwe and the team there need, is she needs a lot of social support now. She needs psychologists, she needs psychiatrists. That is some serious support that
could easily
both of them...
sink into depression.
She could easily sink into depression, where what the irony, the irony of surviving COVID-19 only for you to get depression. You know, that is what I find striking. I wanted to just talk about, you know, the messaging and why perhaps the level of distrust you were talking about. I saw an article, I read an article in theatlantic.com. I was talking about the Spanish flu and the social interactions. And this is one of the lines they were talking about what happened then. And they said that the feelings of loneliness during the pandemic in 1918 were worsened by fear and mistrust, particularly in places where officials tried to hide the truth of the influenza from the public. And then they talked about societies being more cohesive in areas where they trusted the authorities and the numbers and the information they were giving them. And it just goes to underscore the point you were talking about, the deficit of trust that the government has, that nobody trusts anything, and we're all just ready to say, it can't be true, it's not here, it's not all of that. And that hampers any small efforts that, you know, the government has. And this is historical, obviously, but I guess it's lessons for the future in terms of, you know, how governments communicate with their people and